Forget everything you know. Then you'll see the greatest obstacle to truth is the belief that you already know it. The human mind is a collector. From the moment you are born, it gathers information, opinions, traditions, and teachings. It builds a library and locks you inside. Even spiritual knowledge becomes another set of bars. You start believing you understand life, consciousness, God, and that very belief blinds you. True seeing happens when all that is put aside. Non-duality cannot be grasped by knowledge. It is not an idea, not a belief, not something you can add to your mental bookshelf. In fact, it is the absence of all that. It is what remains when knowing stops. It is pure awareness, silent, timeless, and already here. You may think, I know I am consciousness, or I know the world is illusion. But these are just ideas until they're seen directly, without thought. To see clearly, you must empty the cup. Let go of all that you think you understand, not only spiritually, but about yourself, others, life. Imagine walking through a forest you've never seen before. If you carry a map drawn by someone else, you may never notice the real trees, the smells, the sounds. You will be too busy comparing the world to the map. But if you throw away the map, suddenly everything becomes alive. In the same way, your spiritual beliefs are maps, useful at times, but eventually they must be dropped. Otherwise, you miss the living reality of presence. This is not easy. The mind fears not knowing. It wants to be certain. It clings to teachers, systems, labels, anything to feel safe. But the truth lives in the unknown. And only when you surrender to that unknown can you truly see. Letting go of what you know doesn't mean rejecting everything. It means loosening your grip. Question even the deepest assumptions. Time, space, self, other. What if these are just appearances, not reality? Don't try to understand non-duality. Instead, notice what's here right now, before any thought arises. Can you find a boundary between you and this moment? Can you locate the one who is reading these words? Where is the center? Where is the edge? The seeing is already happening. You just have to get out of the way. And getting out of the way means letting go of what you think you know. Even the idea of a spiritual path, drop it. Even the need to awaken, drop that too. These are mental movements. You are already what you seek. But to see that, the seeking must stop. Not knowing is not ignorance. It is openness. It is humility. It is the recognition that no thought can capture the mystery of existence. And in that humility, something opens. Awareness reveals itself, not as a concept, but as your very nature. In Zen, they call this beginner's mind, the state of being fresh, present, and empty. Not dull, not blank, but alive and curious, without clinging to conclusions. This is the mind that sees reality as it is, not as it's been taught. When you forget everything you know, you return to innocence, not childishness, but clarity. You see without filters. You hear without judgment. You experience without needing to label. This is the doorway to freedom, not the accumulation of knowledge, but the shedding of it. Each belief dropped is a weight lifted. Each opinion released is a wall that crumbles, until there is only vast space, and in that space, everything. So take the risk, unlearn, let the structures collapse, stand naked before the unknown. That is where truth waits, not in the safety of concepts, but in the wildness of direct experience. Forget everything you know, and then you'll see Maya, the beautiful lie that binds us all. What if everything you see is a mask, including your own face? Maya isn't just a concept from ancient philosophy. It's not a poetic metaphor. It is the subtle illusion that shapes your entire life. every single day, not in magical ways, but in ordinary ways, familiar, unnoticed, and complete. In Sanskrit, Maya means illusion, not just what is false, but what appears real but isn't. And this is the root of suffering. We take appearance to be truth. We believe in the story of the world, the idea of ourselves, the flow of time, the pursuit of fulfillment, all without asking, is it real? Maya is not outside of you. It is you, or at least who you think you are. It tells you that you're a name, a history, a gender, a personality, that you have a life to live, choices to make, goals to chase. It wraps you in roles: student, worker, parent, seeker. But peel each label away, and what's left? Not nothing, but everything. You see, Maya isn't evil. It's not some curse. It's beautiful, seductive. It gives life color and contrast. Without it, there would be no experience at all. But the problem is identification. You're not just watching the play. You've mistaken yourself for the actor. And the actor has forgotten the script. All spiritual traditions speak of awakening. But awakening isn't about seeing new visions or gaining special powers. It's about seeing through the ordinary, realizing that everything you took to be the world is a projection, a mirage. Not in a cynical sense, in a liberating one. Your mind labels everything: tree, sky, friend, enemy. But these are just sounds and symbols. The direct reality underneath them is wordless, boundless, and always new. Maya is the habit of mistaking the label for the thing. You say sunset, and you think you've seen it. But the real sunset? It can't be captured. It lives and dies in every second beyond the mind's grip. And that's the key to liberation. The lie of Maya is sticky because it feels safe. Structure, routine, identity. They keep the ego intact. They promise control. But they also bind you. You live in patterns. React the same way. Desire the same highs. Fear the same losses. It becomes a loop. A game. A trap. Non-duality cuts through this. It says, you are not in the illusion. The illusion is in you. That shift changes everything. You're not a separate self moving through time. You are timeless awareness, in which the dream of self and time appears. You are not in the body. The body appears in consciousness, just like thoughts, just like sensations, just like the stars in the sky. When this is seen, not just intellectually but directly, life loses its heaviness. Drama fades, not because life becomes perfect, but because the sense of me at the center dissolves. Maya continues, but now you smile. You watch the play, but you don't get caught. You feel the emotions, but you don't cling. You live, love, dance, suffer, but without being trapped. That is the gift of seeing through the lie. It's not detachment, it's intimacy without ownership. You begin to meet life not with control, but with surrender. Not asking, what can I get? But what is here now? Not resisting the wave, but becoming the ocean. That's the true power behind the illusion. You're not trying to destroy Maya. You're waking up from identification with it. And then you can play. Consciously, lightly, lovingly. Because when you no longer believe the lie, you are finally free to live. The biggest lie ever sold to the human mind. There is a lie so big, so ancient, that it has fooled every generation before us and continues to fool us today. That lie is this: you are a separate self. This lie forms the root of every conflict, every anxiety, every insecurity you've ever felt. It's not a mistake. It's a mechanism of the mind. But once you see through it, life is never the same. From birth, we are taught to say I am Zohaib, I am smart, I am ugly, I am important, I am worthless. These statements feel real because we repeat them endlessly. But who is this I that says them? Is it the body, the thoughts, the memories? Look closely and you'll find there is no solid I to be found, only passing experiences witnessed by something deeper. The mind wants clarity, identity, control. It carves out a small idea of me and calls it real. This false identity becomes the center of our universe. We defend it, improve it, punish it, glorify it. But the real you, the one watching all of this, remains silent, untouched. The self you think you are is just an echo in the vastness of being. The biggest lie ever sold is not just about individuality. It's about division. You and them, good and bad, success and failure. These are dualities, opposites, created to help the mind categorize, but mistaken for truth. Reality has no such divisions. In non-duality, opposites are seen as two sides of the same coin, inseparable, like front and back. Even time is part of the illusion. We believe we are moving through time from birth to death, but time is only real to the mind. In deep sleep, there is no time. In pure awareness, there is only now. The past and future exist only in thought, yet we build our entire lives around them. This lie is profitable. Entire industries exist to strengthen your false self. Ads say, you are not enough, buy this and become more. Schools say, become better, smarter, more useful. Religion says, you are sinful, do this to be saved. All of these feed the illusion that you are broken. But non-duality says, you are already whole. The beauty of this realization is that it's not about changing who you are. It's about discovering who you are not. You are not your failures, your successes, your appearance, or your history. You are not the thinker of thoughts. You are the witness. And the witness has no name, no nationality, no past. It is simply aware. Awareness cannot be hurt. It cannot die. It cannot be improved. It just is. And it is the same in you, in me, in everyone. This is why the lie of separateness is so dangerous. It hides our shared essence. It makes us feel alone in a world full of others, when in truth, there are no others, only appearances, only consciousness appearing as form. To see through this lie is not to become someone new. It's to stop pretending. It's to come home. The greatest awakening is not a lightning bolt or a magical moment. It's the quiet, simple realization. I am not what I thought I was. I am not inside this body. The body is inside me. I am the space in which all things arise and pass. You may still have a job, a family, a personality. But now, it's all play. Like an actor on a stage who knows it's a role. You no longer suffer deeply because you no longer cling. You don't fight the waves, you float. Because you are the ocean pretending to be a wave just for the joy of it. This is freedom. Not the freedom to do anything you want, but freedom from being anything at all. When the lie is exposed, what remains is truth. And truth is not a belief. It is your natural state. Silence, peace, presence, pure being, always here, always now. The ego. A fiction, so convincing. It became real. It's the greatest magic trick ever performed. Convincing pure consciousness that it's a person with a name, a story, and a future. The ego is the phantom self. The me you think you are. The voice in your head narrating your life, judging others, chasing pleasure, avoiding pain, and always needing to be something more. It feels so real, so personal, so essential. But what if this sense of self is nothing more than a convincing illusion? From the moment you were born, people began to shape your identity. They gave you a name, told you what's right and wrong, rewarded you when you fit the mold, and punished you when you didn't. Over time, a structure formed, a bundle of thoughts, beliefs, memories, and preferences. That bundle became you. But none of it is who you really are. The ego is not evil. It's not some villain trying to destroy your life. It's a program, a survival mechanism, designed to help you function in the world. The problem is that we forget it's just a program. We believe it's us. This belief is the root of spiritual ignorance, because once you believe in a separate self, you become trapped in fear. Fear of death, fear of loss, fear of failure. You become addicted to control, always trying to manage life, relationships, and even your own thoughts. But who is trying to manage all of this? Who is the controller? The more you look, the more you find nothing solid. The ego is like a cloud. It seems to have shape, but try to grab it and there's nothing there. This is the great insight of non-dual traditions. The self is not a thing. It's a process, a dream. And when the dream ends, what remains is what was always true. Pure, undivided awareness. But the ego doesn't go quietly. It's terrified of disappearing. That's why, on the path of awakening, the ego often becomes spiritual. It reads books, joins retreats, adopts holy language. It tries to become a better person. But all of this is just the same ego in new clothes. The only difference is now it wants to be enlightened. Real spirituality is not about improving the ego. It's about seeing through it. This seeing doesn't require years of study. It requires radical honesty. It asks you to look deeply into the question, who am I? Not who you are as a personality or a body, but who you are when all labels, roles, and identities fall away. Who you are before thought, before memory, before the story. You might find at first a great silence, a kind of emptiness, but this emptiness is not void. It is full of presence. It is the space in which all experiences arise. This is your true self, not a thing, but a knowing. Not a person, but presence itself. The ego doesn't need to be killed or destroyed. It simply needs to be seen. Seen clearly, without fear or attachment. When it is seen, it loses its power. Life continues, of course. The body acts, decisions are made, emotions are felt. But now there is space between the experience and the experiencer. Or rather, the illusion of an experiencer is replaced by the reality of pure experience. The fiction ends. The truth begins. You are not a role, not a thought, not even a mind. You are that which knows all of these things. You are not someone. You are awareness itself, dreaming of being someone. And when you wake up from that dream, you don't become special. You become simple. You become ordinary in the most extraordinary way. Nobody, and yet everyone. Nowhere, and yet everywhere. The ego made life heavy. The truth makes it light. You are not in the universe. The universe is in you. The one truth. Every religion hints at, but can't explain. Every religion tells a story. Different names, different rituals, different symbols. But they all circle around one hidden truth they can't quite speak. That truth is too vast, too simple, too shocking to be put in words. So religions use metaphors. They speak of God, the soul, heaven, liberation. But behind the stories lies something beyond all stories. Something so close, so obvious, we overlook it every time. Non-duality is that truth. It's not a new religion. It's not a belief. It's the ground of all spirituality, the essence that every faith tries to describe but never fully captures. What is this truth? That there is only one reality, one consciousness, one being, expressing itself in infinite forms, including you. The Hindu calls it Brahman. The Buddhist calls it emptiness. The Christian calls it God within. The Sufi calls it the beloved. The Taoist calls it the way. moment you name it, you miss it. You see, truth is not in words, it's in being. Every religion points, but the finger is not the moon. The map is not the territory. The label is not the living experience. This is why mystics in every tradition end up saying the same thing. I and the Father are one. The kingdom is within you. Tattvamasi, you are that. There is no self, no other. All different ways of saying, the separate self is an illusion. You are not a soul trapped in a body. You are not a creature needing salvation. You are the very awareness in which all of this, body, world, thought, God, appears. And this is terrifying to the ego, because it means losing everything you thought you were. But it's also the greatest liberation, because what you truly are can never die, never suffer, never be bound. Religions give us practices, prayer, meditation, chanting, fasting. These are tools, not ends. They are meant to purify the mind, not to create a new identity. But people get attached to the tools. They worship the finger instead of looking at the moon. Non-duality doesn't reject religion. It fulfills it. It says, stop seeking outside. The temple is not on the mountaintop. It's not in books. It's in you, right now, as awareness. And you don't need to become worthy. You don't need to be special. You already are what you seek. The one who is searching is the one who is hiding. This is the final truth, and no religion can fully explain it, because truth is not something you explain, it's something you become. So close your eyes, let go of ideas, let go of names, let go of God as a concept. What remains? Presence, aliveness, peace. That's it. That's the mystery. And it's not elsewhere. It's here. And once you see it, really see it, everything changes. Not because the world becomes perfect, but because you no longer need it to be. You're free. That's the truth every religion hints at, but only silence can reveal.